Hey, welcome. We live our entire lives by the clock, but have you ever just stopped and wondered what time really is? Turns out, the answer is kind of the engine that powers everything from your phone's GPS to the entire global economy. So today, we're going to dive in and find out exactly what we're measuring when we measure a single second.
It seems so simple, right? A second is just a second. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. But the real official definition? Oh, it's way more precise and honestly, way more fascinating than you'd think. And by the end of this, you'll know exactly what a second truly is.
All right, so to really get our heads around a unit of time like the second, we have to start with the basics. We first need to agree on what a clock actually is. And believe me, that idea has come a long, long way. All the way from shadows on the ground to the vibrations of a tiny little atom.
At its core, any clock, and I mean any clock, is really just this: some kind of physical thing that repeats itself over and over and over again. The trick is, it has to be a cycle, and you have to be able to count it. If you can count the cycles, well, then you can measure time. Simple as that.
And we have been using this idea for literally centuries. Just think about it. The Earth spinning on its axis, that gives us our day. That's a clock. That little spring unwinding inside an old watch, that's a clock too. Even sand falling through an hourglass. It's all the same principle. They're all physical clocks.
Now, this is where it gets really cool, because this shows how we've gone from the old to the new. A pendulum clock, right? It uses that big swinging weight. It just oscillates back and forth at a really steady rhythm. Well, an atomic clock works on the exact same principle of oscillation. But instead of some big, clumsy swinging weight, it uses a single vibrating atom. And that atom oscillates with just unbelievable stability and at a frequency that's, well, it's a lot faster.
Okay, so we've got the basic idea of a clock down. Now, let's get to the main event, actually defining the second. We're about to see how this all builds up to the official worldwide standard for how we measure time.
So in the world of science, they have what's called the International System of Units, or SI. It's basically the rule book everyone agrees to follow. And in that rule book, the fundamental, the absolute base unit of time is the second. Everything else, minutes, hours, days, it all gets built on top of this one single measurement.
All right, have a good look at this number: 9,192,631,770. Just let that roll around in your head for a second. This huge, kind of random-looking number, it's the key to everything.
So here it is. This is the big reveal. 1 second is officially defined as the amount of time it takes for a very specific atom, cesium-133, to vibrate or oscillate exactly that many times, over 9 billion times. That vibration is the universal metronome that our entire world runs on.
I mean, that's an amazing definition, but it brings up a pretty big question, right? How on earth do you actually count over 9 billion vibrations of a single atom in 1 second? Well, let's pull back the curtain and look inside the incredible machine that does it, the atomic clock.
Okay, so here's how it works, step by step. First, they heat up cesium atoms and shoot them out in a beam. Now, these atoms can be in one of two energy states. Think of it like two steps on a ladder. A low energy state, we'll call that state A, and a high energy state, state B. So they use a magnetic field to get rid of any atoms that are already in that high energy state B. Next, they hit the remaining state A atoms with microwaves. This gives them a little kick of energy, and some of them jump up to state B. Then another filter cleans out any atoms that didn't make the jump, and finally, a detector at the very end just counts how many atoms made it all the way to state B.
And here is the genius of the whole system. The scientists are constantly tweaking the frequency of those microwaves. It's like tuning a radio to get the perfect signal. When the microwave frequency perfectly matches the natural vibration of those cesium atoms, you get the absolute maximum number of atoms flipping from state A to state B. And that perfect frequency, that's what they lock onto.
Counting atomic vibrations is, let's be honest, an incredible feat of engineering. But you might be wondering, why? Why go through all this trouble? Let's zoom out a bit and see why this mind-boggling level of accuracy actually matters to all of us.
Just let that sink in for a moment. They might be off by 1 single second over the course of about 10 million years. It's a level of precision that's almost impossible to even wrap your head around. It is, without a doubt, the most accurate timekeeping device humanity has ever built.
To put that into perspective, 10 million years ago, our earliest human ancestors were just starting to roam the Earth.
So imagine starting a clock back then and it only being off by a single second today. It's just wild.
And we're not just talking about one clock sitting in a lab somewhere. This is a massive global team effort. There are around 400 of these super precise clocks running all around the world, and they're managed by about 70 different institutions, all working together, all comparing notes.
All of those clocks are contributing to something we call Coordinated Universal Time, or UTC. This is it. This is the official world time. By averaging out the time from all those hundreds of clocks, we get this incredibly stable, super reliable time standard that keeps everything in sync, from the internet to your GPS to the stock market. You'd think being accurate to 1 second in 10 million years would be good enough, right? Well, for scientists and engineers, the quest for precision never, ever stops. They are already pushing to get to the next level.
And that next step, it's actually already here. It's called the Deep Space Atomic Clock, or DSAC. It's an even more precise version, and it's designed to make navigation and communication for our satellites and spacecraft way, way better as we explore the solar system.
So, let's end with this thought. We went from telling time with shadows on the ground to measuring it with the vibration of a single atom. Every single leap we've made in precision has unlocked brand new technologies, brand new possibilities. So that leaves a really interesting question. As our clocks become even more unimaginably precise, what new changes are they going to bring to our world?